Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Paul Griffin, voted number 3 host of the ChairShot Podcast. Just giving you a little disclaimer at the start of this episode. It's frankly been a bit of a disaster what's happened. So basically, we tried yet another recording method this week to better increase the audio quality of the show. So you listeners, you fine listeners, would have, basically the best product that we can make with our limited resources, admittedly. So basically what happened was we decided this week that rather than depend on a program or any of these other means that in the past have given us average results that we weren't really happy with, we wanted to improve it as much as we can. We decided that what would happen is, for the first time, we would try to each record our separate audio. So I would record my own voice, Joe would record his, Barry would do his, and then they would send me the files to mix into one audio file. So we did that, and the show was going great for about an hour 20, and then Barry had to leave because I believe he had some sort of technical computer fault with his PC, where I think the battery was dying. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but anyway, he attempted to save his file, and whatever happened, his file was corrupted. So what we ended up with is my file with my audio sounding perfect, Joe's file with his audio sounding perfect, and unfortunately we don't have Barry's audio, which is a shame, because I mean, this is probably what we're going to do going forward. The audio is really, really good in terms of the sound quality. Now here's the deal. We jokingly, Joe and myself, discussed how we're going to manage this, whether one of us would overdub Barry's voice, but ultimately, obviously, that's not going to happen. So what we've done is, on Joe's recording, whatever way he fucked it up, you in the background can hear Barry's voice and you can hear my voice. So what I've done is I've tried my best to salvage Barry's audio from Joe's audio, basically. So you can imagine how that's come out. I mean, it's you can understand Barry. It's excuse me. I had sneezed there. I'm not going to I'm not going to edit that out because live, innit? So basically what I've done is I've played around with Joe's audio, tried to increase the volume to a point where Barry is just about listenable. What this means is you can hear Joe breathing quite heavily over it, and something else, another side effect of this is, I don't know why it's happened, but it wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened in the future, so don't worry about it going forward. Is over the course of the hour and a half of this episode, my audio slowly becomes desynchronized from Joe's for whatever reason, only by about half a second. So again, were I not taking this audio from Joe's, you wouldn't even notice it. It would have been compressed so much that my voice would have been inaudible on his. So going forward, you won't be able to hear me on Joe's recordings. But what that means is, because I've had to increase Joe's audio in order to hear Barry, there is an ever increasing echo of my voice on the recording. Just about half a second. And there's about a 2-minute period maybe where Joe muted his mic so you can't hear Barry again. So it's, if you want to give this episode a miss, we understand. This is the one to do it. It's unfortunate because there's some quite funny stuff in there. One that I'm sure we'll reference a lot going forward. A very funny joke. Now, like I said, it's just about listenable, but if you want to give it a miss, we understand. And if you do listen, we're very thankful that you support the show and put up with support us basically. So thank you very much in advance. And so anyway, this is episode 187 of the ChairShot Podcast. It'll go down in lore with episode 20, the lost episode. This is ChairShot Podcast 187, the unlistenable episode. Have a good evening. See ya.
Oh my god, we can totally make one of these.
I don't even think I'm enjoying this.
I like it.
And we did, and it's fantastic.
I adore this game. It is perfect.
The following is brought to you by loudspeak.com.
Yeah, and it don't stop. It's 187 on Dwayne the Raw. That's all I have to come up with, folks. I'm sorry. It's episode 187 of the ChairShot Podcast. With myself, your ever dependable host, Barry Snoop Doggy Dog Murphy. And with me, my ever dependable co-hosts. First of all, Paul, Dr. Dre Griffin.
Still Griffin running on the... I don't know the lyrics to the song. If you had warned me that we were doing rap lyrics, I would have right in there.
2 seconds before we began recording the show, when I said, hang on, I have to do something, I was looking up the lyrics to that song, and there weren't enough verses without N-words for me to read, so I gave up, and that's what came out. And also with us, Joe, there is the third person in that song, Towner.
CSP in the clip and one in the hole. Townie is about to make some bodies turn cold. Go on.
R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Kenny.
Warren C.
Yeah. Wade Dog.
The big drizzle.
Still Dre. Some lyrics to Still Dre. Sounds a good song. Lyrics. I forgot what the word for lyrics was, even though I was like, what do you call that word?
What them word gimmicks in the songs?
That's not a word, is it? He says, what's the chorus? I've been representing for the gangsters.
Representing for the gangsters all across the world.
Still hitting them corners with them
lolos, girl. Taking
taking
my time to perfect the beats, but I still got love for the street.
It's the DRE.
And the motherfuckers totally forgot about Dre.
You know, I listened. I don't know if I mentioned it. When the Marshall Mathers LP 2 came out.
Marshall Mothers.
Word to your mother.
Family album.
When that came out, I was listening to 2001 by Dr. Dre around that time, and I was saying that is the kind of album that Eminem needed to bring out.
Yeah.
Because that was Dr. Dre's comeback after he brought out the Chronic in like '93.
Yeah.
It was. And yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed with the Eminem one, I must say. I know a lot of people like it, but I was always more into to beats and to music rather than the lyrical content. So I just thought it was a bit.
You're the worst of a fan, man.
Yeah, I'm a music fan who likes music. Bizarre, not the rapper Bizarre. Is he alive still? Or is it just his career that's dead?
Hey-oh.
Yeah, but 2001's an excellent record, and I don't think there's anything on the new Eminem one that comes as close to Next Episode, Still Dre, those singles, those really strong singles. I don't know, just even though the lyrics, the lyrics in Eminem is obviously far superior than hitting them corners in them lolos, girl.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he's actually got something to say, which and internal rhyming schemes, that sort of thing.
And Dr. Dre with the classic "fuck you" didn't.
Yeah.
I just wanna fuck you. No kissing and loving, girl. You got a husband who loves you.
But yeah, I mean, I thought there's some good tracks on the Eminem one, but generally I just think it's a bit sterile, really. That's my complaint about it. Did you listen to that new album, Joe?
No.
Or are you?
Oh, yeah.
Hippity hop man.
I listened to it once or twice. That
Yeah.
was enough, really.
Yeah, I mean, I like Monster's fine. I like Monster. I think it's a good, pop single. I like the first track on it. What was that one called? The Stan one.
Dunno.
I forget what it's called. I thought it was pretty good as well. Yeah. No, it isn't. No, that's the last track of the album. Hang on.
Oh, not that one.
No, not that one. Just give me 1 second. I'm going to find this information for you all now. Bad Guy. I really like that one. And Rhyme or Reason. Rhyme or Reason I actually think is probably the best song of the album. Rap God I really didn't like. Asshole is, as we've discussed, Asshole is by far the worst song, possibly that he's ever put out.
How have we managed to get back onto this album? I feel like we've been talking about it for a month.
Rap.
Yeah, it's my fault actually.
So did we all have a happy new year anyway?
Yep.
Yeah. I'm really tired and broke.
Oh dear.
Because I've had the longest stream of just going out and doing stupid things I've had in a while, and it's resulted in some good memories and some empty bank accounts.
I see.
But yeah, good times were had by all. New Year's Eve, I went to a friend's house. Mine doesn't do anything for New Year's, so buddy of mine, he has a family shindig where his friends are invited. Small, not a big family thing. And rang in the new year, stayed up drinking till like 8 o'clock in the morning, and regretted it the next day, as people do with New Year's. And that's all I've done this week. I didn't do anything else really notable over the holidays. I did see Anchorman 2 in the cinema during the week. That was my one endeavour out of the house. Other than that, it's been a very quiet week in the Murphy household, I must say.
Fair enough. I was playing poker on New Year's Eve. Lost a fiver. 3 hours of fun.
Isn't that the money you won from playing UFC the other day?
No, I'd won €15 in UFC.
Oh, so you've blown a third of that.
Yeah.
You maniac, you're addicted now.
5 hours watching it.
6 hours.
Oh god. Jesus.
That was a really good show.
God.
But I won €5 and then I was up for work at 6 a.m. the next morning.
Jesus.
So, I think I got about 3 hours sleep.
That's mental.
And I spent New Year's Day at work playing Super Mario 3D Land. Sorry. Which I learned in Japan is called Super Mario 3D Landu.
Yeah, why were you amused by that? I didn't get what you were.
I don't know, because it's so stereotypical. It's so like
It's their language.
I know, no.
It's
But
been
if
formed.
you had said to me, without me having the actual official information, what would you guess Super Mario 3D Land was called in Japan? I go, probably something like, a Super Mario 3D Land. And then that's what it is called. Great. So I'm going to be starting Mario Galaxy 2 because I'm really back in. I really like that platforming. I'm not very good at platforming a lot. So I went out to the shed and got all my old Xbox games, all my old Wii games. And I've got quite a lot of them. Jeez, I need to get rid of. I've Pro Evolution Soccer 6 still here. I think that came out in like 2006. Your Wii U, or not Wii U, Wii Sports, all the old classics. So I'll be having a bash at some of them.
I have some original Xbox games, and I never even owned an original Xbox
So do I.
because they were backwards compatible with the 360.
Yeah.
So I bought them.
Well, I actually bought one, and it wasn't even backwards compatible, so I just never played.
Ah.
I thought it was, and it turned out it was.
Let me see here, listeners. If anyone wants, I still have it right here handy. Hang on, come on, you bastards. All right. Let me see. If anyone wants, Mercenaries, the first one, Scarface, the game, True Crime Streets of LA, Raw 2, The Punisher, Ultimate Spider-Man. That means he's the best one. Spider-Man 2, the film, Black, which is the first person shooter that's actually pretty good. And XIII, which I believe is based on a French comic book. give me a tweet and I'll send them to you. There we go. Hey, that was fun. Yeah, Twitter me. But yeah, games are best.
That game that I got, by the way, that is not backwards compatible, was Time Splitters Future Perfect.
Oh,
I played Time Splitters 2 a lot on the GameCube. We used to, like that's one of the only games that you could play chasing in, basically, because there was like Flame Tag and Virus.
yeah.
So you go into the video game and basically play, 4-player chase. It's like the extension of kids going from playing outside to being fat, sloppy apes playing inside. Where we're like,
Hey, you're letting us behind the curtain here, Paul.
let's play chasing on the computer.
Virtual chasing.
And you weren't allowed to be the monkey though, because the monkey is the smallest, quickest character in the game.
Okay, those rules. Okay.
Yeah. It's like being Oddjob in GoldenEye on the N64. It's just, it's not allowed.
Is when developers didn't worry about balance and they just put in characters that were totally not fair and gave everyone an unfair advantage.
Yeah, the last one I can think of is in Soul Calibur 4, I think, which had like Yoda on the Xbox version. Again, Yoda is so small that he basically breaks the game. So fun times.
I don't think I played very many video games this week. Gave up on Remember Me because it's not very good. Metal Gear Rising, gave up on that. It's not very good either. Downloading that reboot of Devil May Cry. Again, it's not my kind of game, but fuck it, it's free. What else am I gonna do? Yeah. And as we discussed, I went to see Anchorman Dose.
Oh, really? You went to see it?
I said that 2 seconds ago, before you talked about your Wii U thing.
Oh, excuse me.
Although I did immediately segue into something. I think we went back to talking about Eminem after I said it, because that's what we do,
Yeah.
But yes, I went to see it. It's kind of one of those things where these days I only go to cinema if it just so happens my friends are going and they're offering me a lift and I don't get to pick the film.
Fair enough.
So yeah, I went. It was enjoyable. It was an enjoyable film-going experience. It was not hilarious.
Some bits are hilarious, I'd say.
I suppose, yeah. Some bits are very interminable. I did not like Steve Carell's character at all in this film. I thought it was like a wacky line dispenser. It was like the absolute worst of the film every time he spoke. Stories a little bit all over the place. Feels like it's just a collection of gags, really, and that's fine because it's it's a Will Ferrell movie. So, but yeah, I thought it was very, very amusing and very silly, and the bits that were annoying they didn't ruin the film, I think. So it's worth going to see it with your friends and what have you. I also, not in the cinema because it came out ages ago, saw This Is the End at long last.
Yeah. What do you think?
I thought it was good. It's funny because I started watching it and I was kind of wishy-washy on the first kind of 20 minutes, and I was like, I always have very low expectations for Seth Rogen things, and then I watched them and they're not terrible, and this was very much that. By the end, I actually thought it was very funny. Danny McBride I thought was hilarious in it.
Yeah.
James Franco was very good in it. Seth Rogen was kind of just there. Jonah Hill was good. It's dependable, funny performances, and kind of a bizarre scenario. The celebrity cameos I thought were generally very good, even though some of them were a bit eye-rolly. I'm kind of trying to catch up on all the stuff I missed this year. Trying to think of other things I missed that I can maybe watch tonight or tomorrow. I'm not sure though. Iron Man and Wolverine and Prisoners and all these films that I was hoping to see. And it's Pacific Rim,
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my film viewing experience. It's a thumbs up to both of them. I'd say if you can only watch one, I'd say pick up the DVD of This Is the End. Actually, if you can only watch one, pick up Spring Breakers and both of them. But if you can only watch one of the two of them, because you already have like the Spring Breakers on Blu-ray and Ultraviolet DVD, yes, This Is the End. Very beautiful.
Yeah, I think
I also saw Pineapple Express because I tell you last night. That's good too.
Yeah,
I've not seen that one.
It's okay. It's not. It's ballpark the same thing.
Yeah. Well, for people who have seen This Is the End, we've seen Pineapple Express 2.
Yeah, that is good.
Yeah, I really like this. Yeah, I think This Is the End is definitely probably the best comedy I saw last week. Anchorman 2, I think I spoke about Anchorman 2 the other week.
Yeah.
So I won't go on about it, but yeah, I agree that Brick is definitely the worst thing about it, especially the scene. Like you'll know now, the scene where in the building where he's going, ah, I'm just running around with his arms waving. You're
it's so
God.
it's almost cringy. It's so bad. It's
That whole Kristen Wiig storyline, I think, should have been left on the cutting room floor.
for the record, just for anyone who's seen the film, I don't know if I'm stupid or what, but I thought that was Christina Applegate in a wig for the majority of the film.
Did I even look alike?
But in the film they did.
Wait, what film?
Anchorman 2.
Is she not in it?
Christina Applegate is
She is in it.
and Kristen Wiig is in it in a separate role, but
Oh, okay.
making a silly
Wig.
I was like, oh, is that Christina fucking Applegate in a wig? Playing two different characters.
That is her full name, Christina in a wig.
Well, I know Joe's seen a lot of films this week.
Well,
Do you want to give us a run through?
3.
Well, that's more than me. I've only seen one movie this week.
What?
That's one I've already seen.
What was it?
I saw Django Unchained again last night.
Django!
And this will sound borderline racist.
Oh, nothing new
But
there then.
we were gonna watch 12 Years a Slave.
Hmm.
And you chose Django Unchained.
We ended up watching Django instead.
You're like,
We were going to watch Mandela.
we were watching a harrowing film about slavery. Bit boring. Put Django on. Much better.
Django. You let everyone on the call.
But yeah, Django still holds up. It's funny because Django Unchained was the last movie I watched in 2012 and was now the first movie I watched in 2014, so it bookended 2013.
Cool.
And yeah, Sam Jackson still steals the show and should have won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
Who won?
Christoph Waltz actually got it, which is... Christoph Waltz is good in it, but Sam Jackson is marvellous. He definitely steals every scene he's in. I mean, he doesn't appear until an hour and a half into the movie, but
That's enough.
he's excellent.
I watched Gravity.
Yeah, what do you think?
It was okay.
Yeah, that's what I took from it.
Similar to Life of Pi in a way. Where I'm sure people,
I much preferred Life of Pi.
even though in the way people saw it at the cinema, were probably blown away by the visuals and the effects.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were just watching it on your computer screen, 6 inches wide, you probably weren't blown away by that, and the story and the characters, nothing really.
I just don't understand people putting Gravity at the top of their year-end lists. It is subjective, but it's objectively not a super interesting movie. It's just there.
George Clooney's so bland.
I can't lecture people on subjectivity because I've been relishing Grand Theft Auto winning no Game of the Year award. So I can't. I'm living in my glass house over here, but I haven't seen Gravity. It's on my to see list.
Yeah, it's fine. It's good. It's fine. It's just, you know.
I don't have much time for Sandra Bullock and George Clooney, though. I'll tell you that much.
Well, what did you say about George Clooney, Joe?
It's a bit bland. It
But
reminds me of
he just plays George Clooney.
He plays the man from the Nespresso ads.
Yeah.
George Clooney's in there. Oh.
Yeah, Gravity was. It was fine. I expected to be blown away by Gravity, which is the problem. And I really wasn't. I was like, oh, okay.
You won't be blown.
It holds you to the ground.
The opposite, if anything, mate. Yeah.
Oh god, banter, Gravity banter.
But then I saw it at the cinema as well, and I wasn't particularly. I mean, visually it is very good.
Yeah.
I gotta say, but you know.
Problem with spaces, right? There's nothing there. It's just black.
Yeah, but I like that. I like.
But isn't that beautiful though? The emptiness of it all.
No, because there's nothing to provide any scale. So
But then also, I never.
So you want to have a little mouse?
I should have had a matchbox in the background just so you can tell how
Then
big
I never
space is.
felt that. It never felt that claustrophobic to me either.
No.
Well, I don't know. It just feels like if you're like, I mean, I don't want to spoil the movie, but a lot of the movie is spent with one character alone, and I guess you're supposed to feel sort of trapped. I never really cared that much about the character, which was the problem, because a lot of the things that happen are caused by the character's own stupidity.
They also introduce a lot of this personal stuff about things that happen to her back on Earth, and I'm kind of thinking like, you're in space and it's all gone mental, and you're floating about. who cares about that right now? Yeah.
I mean, George Clooney is shouting on about the Yangtze River at one point.
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess it's supposed to be. I don't know what it's supposed to be. Like, it just sounds like pointless dialogue to me. I don't know whether it's supposed to set up his character as this world-traveled. I don't know. Like, what is it? What's the point of it? I don't know. Gravity was fine.
Anyway,
But
it was alright.
definitely better movies this year. Go see Nebraska, Barry. Well, don't go see it. Download it illegally and watch it. That's definitely one to watch.
I also watched Perks of Being a Wallflower with Emma Watson. You seen that, Paul? Oh.
I've not seen it.
It's okay. It's okay. It's a bit. It's probably kind of reminded me of what you were saying about Adventureland, where it's all these teenagers being a bit mopey and a bit annoying. It's not. It's a bit different from Adventureland, though. Probably worth a watch.
I might check it out.
Final film I watched was probably the best of them all. A film that came out many years ago now. It was In Bruges.
Very good.
Very good black comedy. The two main characters actually reminded me a bit of you and Barry.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because you've got this kind of grumpy.
It's the grumpy fat Irishman.
It's the grumpy fat Irishman and the sort of hyperactive, slightly annoying one, Colin Farrell. And the grumpy one's, let's go and look at this museum. Let's go to the pub. Come on, I don't drink. Yeah, but it was very, very good.
And Joe is very much the Ray Fiennes character.
Pretty much.
You're an inanimate fucking object.
Oi! Did you fucking like Bruges or not? Oi! Yeah. The thing is, normally when people describe something as a black comedy, really what I mean is it's just a comedy.
That's not that funny.
Well, comedy with a few kind of edgy bits in it and a bit of, you know. But this was a legitimate black comedy because it is quite, I don't know, it's all about death and a lot of soul searching, this kind of thing. So yeah, it was very, very good.
Yeah, it's got quite a violent death in it as well. I won't spoil it for anyone who's not seen it.
Oh yeah, a lot of violence in it.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, give that a watch.
I feel like it's one that not a lot of people have seen either.
Yeah.
Who directed In Bruges? I feel like it's someone like...
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, In Bruges is another good one. I've not seen Wallflower, but like that's also not one that I've really been too interested in seeing, really. You know, I mean, I've heard some people like it, but I don't know. I guess I have to watch the trailer or two and make my mind then. So yeah, I didn't watch 12 Years of Being a Slave again. I've heard it's great though. I'll probably watch by next week.
They played it for Anchorman 2. And like, boo, get the film. I ain't come here for pathos or feelings. Come on now. It looks good though. The Nelson Mandela trailer didn't seem to show anything of what it's like other than the trailer for the Mandela film is Idris Elba walking in the field reading one of his quotes in a silly voice that sounds a bit like Nelson Mandela. And they cut the black and said Mandela.
Isn't that mainly what he did though? Oh, Nelson Mandela.
Well, you sound better than Idris Elba, I'll say that much. But yeah, I'm sure that's probably good. You're Mandela, where's Wallace, man? Where's Wallace? Anyway, movies and that.
Yeah. I finished Boardwalk Empire this week as well. The last season. Season 4. Ooh-wee! What a good show that is, baby. And then I got in a sort of quasi-argument, which I always get caught in, when, in pointing out how good Boardwalk Empire was, I went, yeah, better Game of Thrones, because they're both HBO productions. One's had a quiet down season, and I was just like, yeah, this is definitely better Game of Thrones, because I previously said Game of Thrones was better, which I now think. Which then, what happens, this always happens to me, is when I say that one thing's better than the other, some person B comes in and goes, well, I think the second thing is better. I think Game of Thrones is better. And then I have to explain why Boardwalk Empire is better than Game of Thrones. And I come off sounding like I don't like Game of Thrones. And I really like Game of Thrones. But Boardwalk Empire is definitely better. And that last season was really good.
Boardwalk Empire doesn't really. I'm only like 2 or 3 episodes into the 4th season. And that was so many months ago at this stage that I might as well just rewatch them again before I try and catch up. But regardless, I don't feel like even after their lowest, I don't feel like they have true down moments. I feel like that show is consistently excellent. I love that show.
Well, I didn't watch it at all when, like, during its time of airing. I only started watching it the few days before Christmas. So I just blazed through it all in a week and a half. Yeah, really, really good. The thing as well is, Game of Thrones, I feel maybe has more high points. Like, just when you think of Game of Thrones' best moments, you can think of 5 or 6 episodes that are really shocking or really impressive stuff happens. And maybe Boardwalk doesn't have quite those highs. But as Barry said, I think Boardwalk is a really consistently great show. Whereas Game of Thrones has, especially in the last season, a lot of storylines that were very weak, annoying, and annoying characters as well. Like that, Jon Snow previously was a character I really liked, but last season I couldn't. Anytime the scene changed to the Jon Snow storyline, I was like, oh god, get us back to the good stuff.
Not a fan of rom-coms.
No, not particularly. Also, what was the other example I used that was really Daenerys Targaryen? Really annoying last season, especially like it's gonna be a very mild spoiler. The very end of the season was such a letdown. It was the Daenerys story. They're saying mother in their own language. What a load of shit. God. Whereas Boardwalk's finale was excellent. Really, really good. So if anyone's listening that has never watched Boardwalk Empire, get on it right now. Great performances, great story. The pacing's a little slow, maybe even compared to Game of Thrones. It's a little more deliberate, but I don't know. I really like that. Normally, if a movie is very slow, sometimes it can become a bit tedious. But I feel like all the characters are interesting enough and well performed. It's got Stephen Graham in it, the English actor. He's really good. And Michael Shannon, of course, who's a little gem, little diamond in the rough. Do you watch Boardwalk yourself, Joe? No?
I watched the first 2 and then kind of lost track of it.
Right.
I do want to watch it, but it's a case of sitting down and getting through it.
Yeah, the only thing is when you fall behind on shows like that, which has happened to me with a show or 2. The thing with the HBO shows is each episode is an hour long, so sometimes it can be a little harder to go, okay, you sit down for an hour and watch these episodes, rather than maybe like a 40-minute show or even a 20-minute show. But yeah, definitely, I'd say Boardwalk Empire is probably my favourite active TV show currently. Up there with Gravity Falls. What else do I enjoy?
Countdown.
Game of Thrones is pretty good. I wouldn't be as excited now for like when season 1 of Game of Thrones and even season 2. Every Monday around my house was like a big deal. We download Game of Thrones in HD and put it on the TV. And now I just feel like it's a little bit more missable. I wouldn't be in such a hurry to watch them. Although that being said, Boardwalk I didn't watch it all when it came out. I just watched it in retrospect. Yeah, Game of Thrones is okay. I'm still watching My Simpsons. I'm on season 4 now.
Cool.
Best TV show I think of all time, probably.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. The thing I'm feeling now is it's even early on in the show, it's sort of losing. Like the very early episodes maybe aren't as funny, but they're very, very charming and very almost sentimental sometimes. They always have a very simple message, and I'm feeling it's starting to get to the point where it's starting to get a bit wackier, even though it's funnier ultimately. And then it's season like 10 just completely goes off the rails. There was the first episode. I watched the first episode where it really felt like a storyline that wasn't just a simple family storyline, it was a bit wacky. I tweeted, I don't remember which episode it actually was, but it was the first episode where I really felt like this plot is a little bit outlandish. Because normally you can sum up some of those early episodes with like a one-sentence description, like Bart cheats on his aptitude test and gets sent to the genius school. That is the plot, basically. Let me see if I can find his Twitter. In among 100 UFC tweets.
Yeah, find the one good one.
You watched that UFC last weekend, Barry?
I watched the main event.
What do you think of your man's leg?
Who's the other? Weidman? I mean, he needs to learn how to protect his opponent. I mean, it's a bit, you know.
Well, you've seen Brock's matches, those UFC guys.
Mental there.
The episode, by the way, was Colonel Homer.
What was that one?
The Lurleen Lumpkin episode.
Oh yeah.
Where it's Homer gets an arbitrary new job. Homer becomes country music manager. That was the first episode that I watched. It was season 3, episode 20, where I really felt like that is just almost like a pick and plot of a hat sort of thing, rather than it being a sort of realistic family situation.
Mm.
Still very funny, of course, but it's just something that resonated with me. So yeah. That's all I watched. Did we do anything else interesting this week?
No.
Actually, I've already told tales of me trying to fight men and no, nothing of note, I don't think.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, we get into our emails.
Alrighty, who wants to go first? I'll go first. I've had to start checking my spam folder again, because that's because emails have begun going amiss yet again. This is actually an old one from Chris. He says, "Hi Barry, I'm assuming the show will be fairly Shield heavy this week with awards talk. See, Gmail, this is your fault, right? So here's a Shield question for a non-change of pace. If you could pair up 3 guys from TNA, 3 guys from anywhere else in wrestling currently, and or 3 guys from the past, for a one-off 6-man tag team match with the Shield, who would you choose? Thanks, and look forward to hearing the show." Thank you, Chris. That's a good question. 3 guys from anywhere, basically. Just TNA, anywhere else in wrestling, or the past, to face off against the Shield. Who would we pick? Oh God. I'll go with the easy answer, and I'll go with the predictable answer for me, and then I'll throw to the other 2. I'll probably say something stupid. I will pick the team of the Young Bucks and Kevin Steen, who are a stable in PWG currently, and they would have a great match with the Shield. Other than that, if you don't go TNA specifically, Bromans and Zima Iron. I mean, Rockstar Squad and whoever else is in that stable. Derek Bateman and Dixie Carter, I don't know.
Magnus, Derek Bateman, and Rockstar Spud.
Yeah, that'd be
versus the Shield.
Worst Shield match ever.
Versus the Shield, WrestleMania, company on the line.
Does it have to be a 3-person team, or can it be 3 randomly selected?
Yeah, you could go 3 random people. I went for convenience.
Tell you who I'd throw in there. Too Cool and Rikishi.
Yes!
That might happen on Monday, mate.
That could be a great match. I'd watch that.
Well, no, with their original theme music, not the turn it on.
That sounded like a Backstreet Boys.
It's called You Look Fly Today. And they're the words.
Oh, is that it?
Fly today. Yeah.
I fucking love Too Cool showing up. They're like my first favorite wrestlers.
It's funny because obviously the gimmick was that they were ironically exceptionally uncool, but the gimmick was they were so cool, like they were called Grandmaster Sexay. But to me, they were super cool.
Yeah, they were the coolest.
Yeah. And they wore yellow sunglasses. And
Yeah, I
that's
mean, it's a big deal when they came out. When those sunglasses came out, it was like Lawler pulling down the strap in Memphis. It was,
well, that was Grandmaster Sexy used to do his leg drop from the top. He used to put the goggles on, which is very much like pull the strap down.
It's funny going back to what's like 99 era heel too cool and just burying them for being idiots.
Yeah. Oh, too cool. That is mental how over that gimmick got.
Yeah, weird necessary.
Rikishi.
Compared to like modern attempts with like Bonus Clay or R-Truth or whoever.
Well, again, the thing with
Javier Woods.
the thing with Rikishi was he was that sort of first fat dancer who could really do it. And I think the fact that he wasn't too fatty sort of accentuated how, and he was a good worker as well.
I spilled rubber bands all over again. Hang on. This is what I do to amuse myself when I'm doing the show. Oh, hang on, okay. But yeah, I understand your point. Because it feels like 10 side of Brodus Clay is like, as opposed to Too Cool, it feels like those guys could be doing something else, and I suppose there they are.
And also, there was the really great crowd tease they used to do where like Rikishi doesn't even like to dance and isn't into any of this, but they put the glasses on him and oh, he can't even help himself.
Yeah.
Whereas Brodus, he just feels like a fat man who doesn't really want to be there, just dancing around. Doesn't quite have the same impact. Is there any other good three? I mean, the Freebirds you could throw in there.
Demolition. No, they were shit.
Evolution.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Batista, Orton, and Flair.
Oh, Flair's coming back. Batista's coming back.
Woo!
Evolution versus the Shield.
Flair to be in a Shield match, I'd love it.
No, he's retired. He's retired, brother.
The Brood. How about the Brood?
Oh my god.
Gangrel, Edge, and Christian.
The Hardys and Lita. That'd be a good match.
Yeah? Yeah, Nita used to do the 6 men.
Dudley's and Spike.
Yeah?
The remaining Radicals.
So Deep Malenko. On his own.
Yeah, he's got a big face tattoo.
Yeah. That's how he remained incognito for so long.
I don't
I
know.
thought he was mental case.
I thought that was Tony.
Yeah.
Right. I forget what the email is about now, but they're good teams.
It was three people to face the Shield, and I think we gave many good options there. But our final answer, Chris, is Too Cool.
Yeah.
How about The Rock, Stone Cold, and Vince McMahon from that one tag match back in 1999?
I don't remember that.
They were against Triple H, The Undertaker, and Shane McMahon. Shane had a big blue jumpsuit.
Do not remember that.
Who was that from? Chris?
Yeah.
The Chris we know, or another Chris?
Who's the Chris? It's not Chris Blake. That's the Chris Bryan.
Oh, Edge, Zack Ryder, and Kurt Hawkins. There you go. There you go. The greatest 3-man group in history.
It's weird to think Zack Ryder was less annoying back then. One of the Edge heads.
He was on TV as well back then.
Yeah. That's from a different Chris. This email is also from a different Chris. It's from Scott. It says, hello, Barry. Since TNA seems determined to be WWE Junior and they're doing the AJ title versus Magnus title match next week, is this the end game for getting AJ out of the company? Yes. Pay him to come back one time to lose to Magnus, probably in some screwy ending, and then have him say goodbye to everyone and leave. Granted, it's better send off from the company than most wrestlers get, but it still seems like a desperate move for TNA. Hope the non-drinking days are treating you well and the DTs haven't been too bad. Scott, what's a DT? I assume, what do you think? A DT? Is that an American thing? Anyway, if that's the kind of reference to a hangover, they have been bad.
Yeah, DT is delirium tremens, shaking frenzy, which is caused by withdrawal.
Oh yeah,
Shakes.
I was yeah, no, it's pretty rough. I'm fine now though. Off it for life now. Is it a desperate move by TNA? I think the idea of TNA without AJ does reflect pretty poorly on them. It's like a concert. It's like WWE without Undertaker.
Yeah.
Undertaker was less good.
Yeah. Well, their promo skills are about the same. I don't know. It's a strange situation. It doesn't seem like they're on bad terms. It's just seemingly comes down to them not wanting to pay anyone any money. So I don't know. But then is AJ worth the money?
Is anyone worth the money to them? I mean, that's the I don't think they are.
Not really.
Not really.
Unless it's Cena, maybe.
But yeah. I mean, it's to reflect poorly on them. But I just think they're in a bad situation. They got a lot of bad news this week. See that Taylor Hendricks tweet? Not Taylor Hendricks, who's the other one? Taylor Wilde.
I did see it. Having a go at the business.
I've got really bad back pain, my first one since I left the wrestling business, except this time I can actually afford to do something about it.
Maybe
nice.
maybe you can sort of face that out as well.
That is mean.
No, I actually like Taylor Wilde. That's alright.
No,
I know that people didn't, which is why I made that joke. I was that joke. She had a good little body going on. And she's probably got a good personality as well.
Nah.
Yeah, that's women for you.
it sure is. What are we talking about? TNA Wolves. Yeah, thanks for your email, Scott.
Was that it?
Yeah.
Joe, do yours?
Yeah. This is from Scott. He says, "Greetings, Joe. With the WWE announcing that the upcoming network will be airing matches including Chris Benoit, but will include a warning prior to each of his matches, do you think this is the company softening its stance on him, or is it just a case of how much work it would be to remove him from all the footage they want to air and would leave too many holes in certain shows? Personally, I'm glad they're going to show his matches on the network. What we did was terrible and unforgivable, but he's part of the company's history and had some great matches. Have a great week, Scott." Well, no, I don't think they're softening their stance at all. I don't think they'd ever mention him on the actual TV, proper TV. But yeah, there's so much footage that he was involved in, including WrestleMania main events, that they can't ignore him completely. It'd be very difficult. And I don't think you could argue whether it's a big deal or not. I think it's a tricky one. I don't think you can just erase history, but there you go. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's good on one hand. No, it's good because
A child murder's go. Oh, Paul.
Oh.
What am I saying? I just think because for people who, like we said on the show a few weeks back, would be interested in like old shows as unedited as possible. I think that's the first step. I'm not sure they even have. Why would they put a disclaimer at the start of the episode? Warning: this episode contains a child murder.
Yeah.
People who are offended may want to watch current wrestling. I mean, what is the point of doing it if only to draw attention? I mean, surely just air the shows.
Yeah, it's like
Understand
it's because they released the DVDs with him on, and they don't put a big sticker on the front saying "Warning contains." No, hide the kids.
You know what I mean?
And they still show Jimmy Snuka, and he killed his girlfriend. So.
Well, allegedly.
Allegedly.
I think it probably did happen. I think he got hit in the head with that coconut and went on a
Using the coconut as a weapon.
I only, by the way, have 2, maybe 3 Jimmy Snuka references that I could use. I know he got hit in the head with a coconut. I know he did a smash off a cage.
Yeah.
And I know when he came back, he was this demented old man. That's all I know about.
Yeah.
He wears no shoes in the ring.
And he was the Undertaker's first opponent at WrestleMania.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. That's the other one.
Okay, is that your only email?
Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Chris. Sorry, Scott. Scott.
Right, let's have a look. I've got 2 here. First one comes from old buddy, old pal, Steve. Those James Howard emails dried up pretty quickly, what? Come on, James. Well, yeah. This one's coming from Steve, anyway, who's my new best pal. And Steve says, subject, cold weather. The 49ers are traveling to Green Bay, which is in Wisconsin, as we all know, with Mr. Kennedy. And that 70 show, which I think was also set in Green Bay, for their first round game of the playoffs on Sunday. As of right now, Friday night, it's expected to be one of the coldest games ever played in the NFL. The high for the day in Green Bay is supposed to be minus 3 degrees Fahrenheit, which is minus 19 degrees Celsius. The low is minus 20 Fahrenheit, which I don't know what the version for Celsius that is, but let's just say it's cold.
Fucking cold.
Because I know in at St. Valentine's Day Massacre, I think it was, in '99, when Hardcore Holly fought Al Snow, and they fought on the river. And Michael Cole was going, it's 40 degrees outside! When I was young watching, I was thinking, that's pretty warm. That's
water must be boiling.
So minus 20 Fahrenheit must be really, really cold. With a wind chill expected to be minus 51 Fahrenheit. That is meant.
The simple answer is don't go to your shitty football game and stay home and listen to CSC.
Well, this is what he says, because the Packers are well known for always selling at Lambeau Field. Surprisingly, they're having a hard time selling tickets, barely making the blackout deadline. Which, if people aren't aware of the blackout deadline, I believe in American football there is a rule where they have to sell a certain amount of tickets.
Before they show the game on TV?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. They don't have that rule over in England because English fans go rain or shine to the old footy.
Oh, I don't even wear a bloody shirt most of the time.
Well, have you seen a Newcastle match lately, Joe?
Football made.
Eat up power.
Oh, footy!
Is there anything on earth that would get you, Barry or Joe, to even go outside in weather like this? Hope you guys had a happy New Year.
Sexy dames and plenty of them.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Probably if
Even then, I further look like a nice warm pub where I can have a pint in peace and not be outside. And if they smoke and they insist I can have the smoking area, you're not your own though. Not one of them.
I would also say, if I was promised, and it was going to be guaranteed to me that it would be the best McDonald's ever.
It was in a shake.
In McDonald's.
Yeah, if Ronald McDonald had, come on to me in McDonald's, I
I
would.
got a special burger for you, Paul. I don't know why I'm picking you up.
Yeah, so I really don't like the cold, especially when it's a wind cold. Because today I looked out the window and it looked quite nice, and I went outside and it was alright, but the wind was really cold. So yeah, I'm not one for going out in cold weather. I really So thank you for that, Steve. Let's go on to our second one. This comes from Scott, who, as he lets know on Twitter, his streak is continuing. He says, "Good evening, Paul. With the New Year started, I decided to try and go see one movie a month in the theaters. January looks like there are 3 movies that would interest me, and I'd like to hear which of the 3 you would see." Okay, unfortunately I've not read this email until right now, so I've not done my homework on these movies. The first one he says is Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit.
What the fuck is that?
Second one is Devil's Due. Third one is I, Frankenstein. He says, keep in mind, those are the only 3 coming out in January that interest me, so telling you to see something else will do no good.
These don't sound terrible.
Also, I look at movies as a way to get away from the real world for 90 minutes, so not every film has to be a masterpiece to entertain. Thanks, Scott. Well, here's what I know about these 3 movies, which maybe can help Scott make up his mind. Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, is I think it's the 5th or 6th in a series about Jack Ryan, who is a character based on a series of novels. I'm not sure who wrote them. I think The Hunt for Red October is one of those movies, which I who's in Hang on, I'm getting confused. I know Harrison Ford is into it, but I don't remember what it's called. Hang on, I'll give you this here. Jack Ryan series.
In the Line of Fire? No. Something. Oh, I don't know. Star Wars.
The films are The Hunt for Red October is the first one.
Indiana Jones and the Red October.
Patriot Games with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, Patriot Wars.
Clear and Present Danger with Harrison Ford, and The Sum of All Fears with Ben Affleck. And this is the fifth.
Wait, how are these films related?
They're all about the Jack Ryan character.
Yeah, they're all based on a series of books.
Yeah, it's Tom Clancy, of course, who did the books. It stars Chris Pine from Star Trek. I've not seen a trailer for it, but I have seen the movie poster. It looks like it could be fun. I'd say it's probably along the lines of like the Jack Reacher movie in terms of it'd probably be like a slight Bourne riff-off. That could be okay. Devil's Due, I don't know really anything about except that Eli Roth's been putting it over on Twitter. I don't know what it's about, I don't know who's in it, and I've not seen any trailers for it. It's called Devil's Due, so I might imagine. And the third one is...
It looks like it's called Devil's Due.
The third one is I, Frankenstein, which I only saw because Red Letter Media tweeted about it, making fun of how awful it looks. And I watched the trailer, and ooh-ee, what a load of shite. So I will give my official pick to... let's say Devil's Due. Go see Devil's Due, Scott. Just because I think that Jack Ryan would be quite derivative and I, Frankenstein would be really bad. Whereas Devil's Due, it's like Eli Roth tweeting about it. And I like Eli Roth, so there you go.
Why?
Because he made Cabin Fever, which is a fun one.
Shit.
And he was in Inglourious Basterds.
Also shit.
Neither of those were
This is also shit.
Well, I don't know if it's
It's pretty bad.
There you go.
Either of you see the film? Not the film, it's not out yet. The trailer for Goldust's new film.
No.
He's in a film, and he's in like a fairly major role.
Really?
It's called
Black Rain, Fat Story.
No, it's called
The Fat Years.
Meet Me There. It's called?
Me and potatoes. Like, oh, that's what he's eating.
No, it's called Meet Me There. It's like a horror thing. I don't see the trailer made it look like a really artsy indie movie because it's like it doesn't tell you what the trailer is. It doesn't tell you what the film's about. I keep getting confused between trailer and film. Which one's the short one to tell you what the long one's about? Anyway, the trailer it's a collection of like nice shots and voiceover from the film and it looks slickly made, but I have no clue what it's about or even really what genre it is. But you know, it certainly looks like the most high-powered product that a wrestler has ever been involved in, including wrestling itself. So give that a look after the show, perhaps.
Sounds alright.
So that's all my emails. Thank you, Scott. Hopefully that helps you choose a good movie. And let us know about it, because I'll probably give one of those a watch. And that's all the email. So, wrestling news this week.
Yeah.
We already covered the fact that Chris Benoit is going to be
Returning at WrestleMania.
Due at long last. Devil's Due.
So I'm trying to think what else there was that happened this week. Majorly.
There's the story that Undertaker asked for a match with Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania. That is not the plan currently.
Yeah.
That was
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as you said yourself, at least that would mean that Undertaker wouldn't do his wacky dive right onto his own head.
Well, they'd probably bring someone out, like a cameraman.
The Wyatts, maybe.
They'll have Mason Ryan dressed up as a cameraman. Just try and catch him.
I would like to see Undertaker do the dive down Bryan and just sort of drive him to the ground like a tent. And he's just gone.
It's just his head sticking out.
I mean, it's good. There's nothing but good for Darren Bryan that someone of Undertaker's caliber is sort of has that much confidence in that he could ask for a wrestling match.
Hmm.
And you know, it's not that Undertaker can't have a good match with a smaller worker as he showed with CM Punk at last year's Win.
Yep.
It certainly seems like they're heading in a different direction, though. What people have been saying is it's most likely to be Taker and Brock.
Yeah.
But you know, that'll probably be good as well.
Yeah.
Although that being said, Undertaker and Brock have really only had one good match. I think they've had 6 matches. The Hell in a Cell was excellent. But the Bikers chain match they had, and the match of Unforgiven 2002, were both stinkers. So, you know, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like they're two completely different people these days, though.
Well, that's true. Brock's got a very different style now after having been in the UFC. So
After being in the UFC, yeah.
Undertaker went to all those UFC shows. You want to do it? I love what Undertaker's gimmick was. He still goes to UFC shows looking for Brock. And Anderson Silva's been stretching out with a broken leg. And Undertaker's just peering at him going, do it. Oh, Undertaker. What a madman he is.
I don't know if there's any other news or anything. AJ Styles is in the ROH tonight.
Oh, that's tonight, isn't it?
Yeah, facing Roderick Strong.
That's going to be on the TV, I believe.
Yep, it'll be Take TV.
That's pretty cool.
It should be interesting. No update on where he's actually going to go. It's funny because he actually returned to TNA this week.
Oh, that's strange.
And he's going up at ROH on Saturday, so that's weird. But yeah, so no real update.
There's still a lot of talk going about that this is some sort of multi-level work. I'm not sure how convinced I am by that. I mean, we shall see if he ever ends up back in TNA. I mean, TNA does seem like a good fit for him. I'm not sure that. Yeah, I mean, the guys can make a lot of money, and especially when you're in TNA, just as I'm sure. Probably make quite a living. It's interesting.
A bunch of old people are going to be at Old School Raw. You know.
But like Old School Raw, my show of the year in 20...
Really?
2011, yeah. I really loved that first Old School Raw.
Oh, the first one, yeah. Yeah.
Come on, sniffly. I apologize, Justin.
Mason Ryan's going to be in the Shield.
What?
That's the rumour. He's going to replace Roman Reigns.
Oh God! What a downgrade!
I don't think that'd happen.
I guess they're trying to solve the problem of they want to break Roman Reigns off, but not have the Shield come to an end.
Oh dear. That's a bad idea.
I think that's a placeholder, but yeah,
No.
I don't know how much truth is in that.
Well, who else would be a better fit if Roman Reigns was to lead the Shield? Who would you plug in there instead?
Brock Lesnar.
AJ's
Let's run Raw every week for $1 million.
Jeff Jarrett.
Let me look at the rosters.
AJ Styles.
NXT wrestlers. No, I'm going to have a look at the NXT roster and see who would be a good fit.
Needs to be someone fat and big. No, not necessarily fat, just big.
How about
Kensai.
Adrian?
They already have a flippy flyy guy.
I wasn't listening. How about Bailey?
Who?
Give it the much needed cute factor. I see. How about Renee Young?
They have a wrestler here called Alexander Rusev. So he looks like he's dressed in an annoying cloth.
He is dressed.
He looks like a caveman.
I think he is supposed to be a caveman. Although he had a dark match when he wore NNA gear for some reason and did like Muay Thai.
Oh wow. Okay. I don't know who any of these are. Both Alex's. Let's see.
Probably would be both Alex. Or the other fella. Connor, yeah. He's from Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Sawyer Fulton. That's a good name
What?
for a wrestler. Sawyer Fulton.
I watch NXT and even I don't know.
None of these NXT guys are big, juiceless muscles. What's going on?
What's up with that? Come on, Clippy, you're slacking.
Well, I guess there's nobody to put in then. The Shield.
American Wolves are getting signed, by the way.
So, apparently, yeah.
That's weird.
Because they're too
Oh.
small or something.
I have to delete that Davy Richards lamp that I made.
Oh, John Cahill lamp.
Yeah.
Apparently. Hey, I don't know if they want to go to TNA.
Are you interested in who?
TNA.
For who? Oh, for the Wolves. Oh, yeah.
I mean, rarely do you hear about rats jumping on the sinking ship, you know?
That's true. I mean, I feel like they're guys who can make a living in a good level as well.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably doing okay for themselves, but you know, thought it was unusual that they didn't get.
I tell you what. Sorry to interrupt you. Do you know who would be a good fit for the Shield? If they weren't already doing something else and hadn't already been ruined multiple times? Jack Swagger.
Nah.
In that for Roman Reigns. If Jack Swagger hadn't yet been brought up, I think he'd be perfect for that sort of role.
Well, yeah, maybe.
There's a lot of things he'd be good for if he hadn't already been brought up and ruined several times over.
Yeah.
Why is that even a thing in WWE? That people are ruined so frequently.
I don't know. Yeah, some particular people seem to get it over and over and over again. You know, as opposed to, you know, once or twice and you're gone. That's unfortunate. And Tony Cesaro is still doing okay. He'd be good in the Shield.
Yeah.
Kind of a actually no, I was gonna say it's kind of a lateral move, but I guess it's not. The Shield are way higher up in the card than the Americans, Street Americans.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting. It's an interesting idea of keeping the Shield going after Roman Reigns.
But do they necessarily have to keep going as three-man?
I don't see much use for Ambrose. I mean, they're good, but I don't see much use for them as a tag team on their own without Reigns. I feel like the aura is with the three of them.
Yeah, that's why my fear is if they break them up. That they're sort of the separate parts are lesser than the unit.
Definitely, yeah.
Even with Roman Reigns right now, if they split him off, just because what they've done in these news guys like Ryback, I feel like the concern is that the heat would cool off quite quickly. And you'd be just left with sort of two guys with not much to do with. Like really, as good as he's been this year, he's been one of the best acts of the year. What are the prospects for a guy like Seth Rollins once the Shield is done?
Real Americans.
Even the guy like Dean Ambrose. You know?
Yeah, I feel like they found a great niche with the Shield. What do you think about it? I think it's a big question mark.
I mean, we should see. What other news we've got? Good. Apparently May Young's not doing quite well.
Yeah.
She was in hospital, was moved to hospice care, which is never a good thing. She was apparently supposed to be on this upcoming Raw, where she'd probably have another match with...
Another match, yeah.
I want to fight this bitch! Slap!
Slap! Get out of my face.
Oh god.
She is my hero.
Yeah. I mean, if worse comes to worse, they could always wheel around that Paul Heyman gimmick used.
Or just prop her up on Wade Barrett's new podium. Just in a bed.
Oh god. Barrett comes in a doctor's outfit.
Oh god, no, little worse.
We're not nice, Ben. Oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh, terrible. Hey,
That's about it. I think it's been quiet enough for news. I think. A lot of people were on Raw this week.
oh yeah,
They're all at a house show.
That's weird, isn't it? Why did that happen?
Priorities.
At least we had Punk opening the show, no more Orton, Cena and Authority and all that nonsense.
Well, the Authority were there.
Yeah, actually, yeah, they did get a segment each, didn't they?
Mm.
Triple H and Steph.
I much prefer that to the Triple H play the game theme.
I'm sick of them all.
He loves Motorhead, so you ain't getting away from that. I just think that fit his gimmick much better for so many years. And he just wouldn't refuse to use it. I think works better as a heel theme as well. Like the play the game one, I think is sort of almost like a babyface theme at this stage. So yeah, apparently they're going to be announcing the network on Wednesday.
Cool.
So we should have news on that next week. We should see how that goes. And in lighter news, Michael Cole called Brock Lesnar Mark Lesnar. And then Brock Lesnar did a shout like a little foul almost. Yeah, weird cry. Yeah, it was strange. Also, he cut one of the worst promos in history. Get onto that.
I don't remember that.
I think that's all that's news to get onto. I'll get Rob here.
I actually watched Raw this week for the first time in about 6 months. So.
What was that? I enjoyed it.
Yep, it wasn't bad.
There was no Cena or Orton, as Joe mentioned, but I don't think the show was worse off for it. We had CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in the opening match. Yeah, I quite like the opening segment when Punk came out and was challenging the Shield. And they were sort of arguing with themselves about who's the best. I thought that was pretty good because it wasn't beating you over the head with they are breaking up. But it did a good job of showing that there was a little bit of tension amongst them. I thought it was pretty good. And then I thought the match was good as well. Didn't blow me away, but I thought it was good.
Yeah, enjoyable.
CM Punk won the GTS. And that was it.
He said the match was garbage on Twitter, to the surprise and horror of everyone.
Who did?
CM Punk.
He did?
Yeah, and everyone took it seriously and got all annoyed.
Alright.
Whatever. It was a good match, I thought. I enjoyed it.
He also tweeted this week about I hate traveling or something. People were like, is he going to retire because he like traveling? As opposed to it being maybe he just doesn't like traveling at that time and so he needs to stay there to enjoy it.
Traveling is good thing. I like that.
Yeah, I like going on a bus or whatever. Skipping ahead, then that's not important. We had Booker T at his New Year's
Wait, that...
because wait, we go ring in that new year. Oh, he going for that arm bar. He go work that arm over. That tree at the end there, look, he's like a 4 now. They're all different, and every time I write the date, I keep writing the 3 by mistake. So Booker T came out. I wanted to do a Spitteroonie because that's what he does now. And then he was with a bunch of jobbers and Dolph Ziggler, who I don't think we can even separate anymore. And then Wade Barrett came out in a big cherry picker, which rose. He rose to the arena ceiling, and then spoke about how the year would be bad. And then it went bad news Barrett. Bit sad, isn't it? Not that Mae Young is dying, but that Wade Barrett. This is what Wade Barrett does now.
Oh, did you see that interview with Jericho and Edge where they talked about that?
No.
Edge was on Jericho's podcast and talked about how originally the match at SummerSlam with the Nexus was going to come down to the two of them against two of the Nexus people, and Cena came up to them and said, "No, what we're going to do is it's going to come down to me versus two of them, and they're going to DDT me on the concrete, and I'm going to kick out and beat them both." And Jericho said, "No, that's stupid. but he was superseded, and so that was the finish of the match. And after the fact, Cena came up and said, "Yeah, sorry, that was stupid."
Well, there you go, John Cena, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah,
doing the best for the company.
I was amused by that.
Yeah, no, I honestly tried to listen to Jericho's podcast. I got like 20 minutes into the Stone Cold episode, the part 1 of Steve Austin. I was like, oh, I can't be fucking bothered. I cannot be bothered with this. I just deleted them all. It's just I like Jericho. I think he's a good host, but I think like I explained last week, it's just constant interviews. Like I find hard to re-listen to, unless it's someone I might get like the Edge one. I think it's because I've listened to so much Stone Cold over the last year. I can't. The novelty's sort of worn off. I like Edge though. I might give that a listen. Especially, I do like those sort of things where you actually get some insight on it, as opposed to it being the same. Like especially Jim Cornette, like the same Jim Cornette stories over and over again. Where you're like, ugh. You're not actually getting any insight. You're just getting a load of opinions on things that you don't particularly care about. Especially anytime there's a wrestling podcast where they go on about politics. Like I don't want to listen to their political opinions. I want to listen to them tell us stories about backstage that we don't know about. That sort of thing. Yeah. So anyway, that's Wade Barrett's life now. Damien Sandow was going to face an opponent to be determined by WWE app poll, with The Miz, Kofi Kingston, The Great Khali, right?
What a roster.
Yeah, one person who can work a match, one person who's quite bad, and then a completely immobile Wicker Man. And he won! Great Khali won the poll.
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Not the bees! And Damien Sandow won with a roll-up where he nearly flipped Khali right over onto his front. Khali's shoulder was up in the air, and the referee just counted. It was horrible. Brock Lesnar's back.
Yay!
Instead of having a big exciting return, Triple H simply came out and went, "Here's Brock Lesnar, I brought him back." Which was good. Yeah, anticlimactic.
Yeah, that was still awesome afterwards.
Uh-oh, hang on, breaking news here.
What?
Hosted by Mike Johnson of PWInsider.com.
Oh my
TNA
God.
will not be taping Impact Wrestling at Universal Studios Orlando anytime soon. PWInsider.com has confirmed. According to multiple sources, TNA will not be returning to any of Universal's sound stages, as they were unable to secure dates for 2014 due to the sound stages being booked out for other productions already. TNA returned to Universal to tape a number of Impact Wrestling episodes at the end of last year. At the time, TNA's press release presented Universal as being the hub, in quotes, of their Impact 365 social media campaign, and noted that the company would have a training center in that market as well. The Impact episodes taped at Universal Studios will conclude with this Thursday's edition of Impact. TNA will tape several episodes later this month in Huntsville, Alabama, including a live Genesis-themed episode before heading to Europe at the end of the month for their annual tour, where they will tape a number of episodes as well. From there, it appears Impact will be back on the road unless the company is able to find a new regular home for the tapings, because as of now, Universal Studios won't be home base.
Ooh.
Sounds like trouble.
Just move to England, lads.
There must be some other studios they can tape at.
Nickelodeon Studios. Keenan.
The entrance to the red curtain. And then Bobby Roode is like, "Oh, here it goes."
They could change the watch out. Why? That's sad for TNA. But yeah, TNA is... what they need to do, right, is have their big live Genesis show, and have a really good show, and then at the end, Wade Barrett goes, lads, it is Doctor's Out. And then that's it. That's the last of all time.
And he wakes up and it was all a dream.
It's Vince McMahon's dream.
And Linda's in bed next to him.
And
Oh, I had a terrible dream where you ran for the Senate twice. Spent $100 million. Vince, that was real. No.
Oh god. Anyway, poor TNA. What were we talking about? Raw. So yeah, Brock Lesnar came out with Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman cut a good little promo about what was going on. And he, about why he returned and why he doesn't hold any grudges against CM Punk and so on. Just so they can explain away why they're not feeling with CM Punk right now. And he gave the microphone to Brock Lesnar. And
I don't remember this being particularly bad. I don't get
he tripped over his words. He said stupid things that no one should say. He referred to being the number one contender as, I'm not going to be waiting in some mysterious line. What the fuck does that mean?
He's gonna be in the pit of danger.
I'm not going to wait in some mysterious line. Who wrote that? What normal human being would say that? Shouldn't Brock Lesnar come and go, I ain't waiting for my title shot, I'm going to beat a man's ass and take that belt? Instead of going,
What kind of square is he? I ain't waiting for my title shot, I'm gonna beat a man's ass.
I'm not going to wait in a mysterious line. Brock Lesnar has quite a high-pitched voice as well. His voice does not strike terror into men's hearts.
Why do they have him do promos?
He's got a bit of the Bobby Lashley about him. But I mean, he can do a good promo. He did that piss running down John Cena.
That's a pre-tape, though.
And he did
That's a
on
pre-tape.
UFC 100. He did the promo
That's
with Frank
not-
Mir where he
that's
pulled a
fake.
horseshoe out of his arse and hit him over the head with it.
That's
He
fake.
can do a good promo, but when it's written for him, and I think Brock Lesnar is almost half simian. I don't think he's got a human brain. So when he has to remember,
His weight is huge. When he came out, I was like, God, I can't believe this guy came to prominence in the pre-16:9 era. How'd you get all his pain?
I don't think he can remember promos. And he came out and he was fumbling and he said, I'm good to champ, WWE champion. And anyone who thinks they can stop me can come out and try and do it.
He cussed out of his mind, leave him alone.
But then Mark Henry came out,
Yeah.
and then he spitted him through the barrier, and I went, ow!
Yeah.
It was awesome.
That's when he called him Mark Lesnar.
That's because they fused into one.
They fused into, for one spectacular moment, they were one, flying, hurtling through space and time and the barrier.
Yeah.
And then Brock Lesnar did a sort of intergalactic scream, which sort of permeated through the air. I think the way he screamed with such force, because Lesnar is such an animal that our ears can't fully comprehend it, and that's why it sounded like a baby being strangled.
Yeah, possibly.
And then he lifted up Mark Henry onto his shoulders, which is no small feat in itself, and tossed him through the air in a move known as an F5. And Mark Henry landed with a splat on the floor. He sort of bounced like a space hopper, and he was dead. And he was killed dead by Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
And Paul Heyman said, "That's it."
No.
But someone had been made an example of. It was Mark Henry.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I very much I love the segment too.
Yeah, really good, but don't have Brock speak anymore, please.
Yeah, no need.
Just let him grunt and spit and scream if he wants.
Yeah, it needs to screech a little bit, but yeah.
Then we had...
Who's he going to wrestle though? The Royal Rumble.
None of the options sound good at all, so nobody. I've heard Mark Henry beat Langston.
Yeah, it looks like they are going in the Langston direction
That's
so
terrible.
for some reason.
Eddie Langston shouldn't lose, and who would possibly believe he'd win anyway?
Yeah, makes no sense to me.
Yeah, that's stupid. Also, nobody. I don't want to see him have another match with Big Show, rekindle that decade-old feud. It was good, but no. Another guy who won't conceivably beat him anyway.
Yeah. It just feels like a bit of a waste of one of the Lesnar dates, you know?
Well, we've already wasted 3 of them.
Yeah, with Triple H.
Jesus.
Anyway, we then had the final segment of the DVD, which was Daniel Bryan, Wyatt family segment, which got a lot of controversy on the online forum. So what do
So
you guys think of this? Daniel Bryan. Well, go on.
I think it's a red herring and he's going to win the Rumble by point of range.
Well, obviously. What do you think of the segment? So?
Well, I thought it was great.
I thought it was well done, yeah, I thought it was very good.
The crowd were going nuts, so, you know.
I think the crowd reacted well to it, and I think that storyline just had legs going forward. I thought the segment was a little bit clunky though.
In what way?
Just with the matches. The match itself weren't too bad, but just the way that it was. You have to beat these three guys. He got the final match with Bray Wyatt, and immediately they were DQ'd. And then Wyatt could have been the Hope promo.
Oh, but he sang though.
He did sing.
That was good.
And he did that thing where he bends over from the turnbuckle, which I liked. He didn't do the crab walk.
Good.
Shame.
No.
And then Brian did sort of, you're right. It was all a little too hokey for me. And then they all walked to the back. I mean, it was very wrestling. I mean, maybe harsh wrestling. I was just watching it.
Interesting. I don't know if you...
I know, but the best wrestling angles, are the ones where you get very involved in it and very excited. And just for I was just very aware that I was watching wrestling. And I just really wasn't invested in it. But then going for, I think it's a clever storyline, the old false. And of course, it's going to get a big reaction at the Rumble whenever when he, they'll almost be like the Linda Man getting out of the wheelchair.
Yeah.
Deal with Daniel Bryan got brainwashed, turn around, and Daniel Bryan is attacking the Wyatt. And the crowd would jump up and down, going yes, big deal, brilliant. So
And then it was the Rumble. Yeah.
I'm very much in favour. I'm astounded people are saying, "Oh, he's turned heel. What a stupid company! Wasted the Daniel Bryan." I was like, it's very obvious what they're doing here. It's nothing to do with. He's not turning heel.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll be very brief while alive. That's not what's happening here. And then John Cena came out and said, "This is Daniel Bryan. He's my friend." And Rowan was there with John Cena celebrating. John Cena was the man. That was wrong. So yeah, decent enough. Did we watch any other wrestling?
Nope.
I watched Impact.
Why?
It's good. It's good shows. It's as good as Raw.
I think it probably is as good as Raw, if not better. But I just don't have the time to watch it. It does have the bromance, which,
More reason not to watch.
You are an idiot. The bromans are the best wrestlers in the world. They do fist bumps on the way down the ring.
Best in the world.
So what happened with Joe? Anything good?
Kurt Angle came out and said he was going to kick a lot of butt in 2014, but Bobby Roode interrupted him and challenged him to put his Hall of Fame induction on the line in a steel cage match, which he accepted for Genesis. Gao Kim lost to Madison Rain in a okay match. Chris Sabin won the X Division title from Austin Aries when Velvet Sky interfered. Sam Shaw returned, doing some sort of gimmick that I don't fully understand.
Right.
He was just wearing normal street clothes and acted a bit weird. I don't know what's going on there. Beer Money were reunited because Money because Bobby Roode was facing Kurt Angle and needed a partner, and Kurt Angle chose Gunner, and James Storm wanted to get his hands on Gunner, so he forced Bobby Roode to team up with him.
Is he not attacking McGunner anymore?
No, because Gunner won the Feast of Fire briefcase.
Oh, he did. I saw the final segment of this Impact. That's all I watched on their YouTube. And not to jump ahead, or steal your thunder, but Gunner came out with his case and was like, "I'm cashing this in."
Yeah.
But their case isn't called Money in the Bank. There isn't that financial reference. So it just was like a really transparent, we ripped this off the good wrestling company, in a way.
Yeah.
Because isn't it, he's cashing in his money in the bank,
He's cashing in, I want a feast right now. I'm awful hungry.
I'm here for the takeaway. One belt, please.
Yeah, so Big Money won, of course. They should do. Something happened with EC3. Bully Ray and Joseph Park had a match. This was pretty shit. Because Bully Ray sprayed lighter fluid all over Joseph Park. Then Ken Anderson ran out for the save and got sprayed with lighter fluid. And then Bully Ray held up a little Bic lighter. As if he was going to set them on fire, but then he didn't. And then the final segment was the coronation of Magnus.
Yeah, this one I saw.
This went on for quite a while because Rockstar Spud did an intro which was okay, then EC3 did another promo, then Dixie did another promo, and Magnus finally did his long promo, which was fine, but it had been going on for quite a while at that point. Then, as you say, Gunner interrupted to feast on his feast briefcase, and Dixie said no, and before he could get his shot, AJ Styles returned with the real TNA world title and attacked people.
Yeah, and I really liked how the Feast are fired. You can cash in at any time over a year.
Yeah.
World title shot. And then he tried, and Dixie Carter was just like, no, you can't do it.
Maybe her point is it's not a Money in the Bank, so like.
Maybe Gunner actually thought it was a Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Maybe it's going to turn up on Raw and challenge Orton.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Triple H. All the cash in this briefcase, sir. Yeah, so it ended with Magnus demanding that he have a unification match with AJ. Which was a bit weird because he's been playing this slightly cowardly heel who's needed help from Dixie and the other guys.
Yeah.
But then he demands a match, even though Dixie was refusing to book it. But anyway, they'll have a match. And I think we all know how that ends.
I'm gonna guess it will end via a Rockstar Spud inserting himself into the match and winning, pinning both Magnus and AJ
Simultaneously? Yeah.
After a double A off the top, out of the ring, through the floor, and he'll pin them in the basement.
You've read the spoilers.
And Earl Hebner will be the referee. And he'll run around into a limousine. And the limousine will explode. And Dixie Carter will then be revealed that she was missing man all along, Austin. And Austin will become the CEO. And he'll wear a tie.
You've obviously been reading PW1 Mania.
I've been reading the old NoDQ.com. Confirmed to me today as well.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
At least that's what I read in among the 18 ads that popped up on my screen.
Yeah.
I can make that out. And also the video, the features of
Oh god.
here's an AJ Styles interview from 1997.
God.
Cheers for that. So that was Impact. We have people who are wondering where Barry is. I think Barry's back. Yeah. No. So it's just Paul and Joe. So what are you doing next week, Joe?
Back to work.
Oh yeah. I've been back this week. So a lot of people are only going back on Monday. Lucky folks, I guess.
Yeah. God.
How do your holidays work out? Do you get holidays to take whenever you want, or are they designated?
No, pretty much whenever I want. I only took a few days off this week, so I needed a little break. So yeah. So I'll probably go back to not watching any wrestling now that I've actually got to work.
Right. That's a shame.
Except it's the Royal Rumble, which is my favourite.
Yeah, they put up a YouTube video on the WWE YouTube of top 10 surprise Royal Rumble returns.
No
Honky Tonk Man, which was immediately the one that popped into my head. Honky Tonk Man.
2001. Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
That was good.
You could probably guess what number one was.
John Cena.
John Cena. Number two.
Edge.
It was. No, I think number two was Chris Jericho. I think number three was Edge.
Oh, okay.
But that's sort of the level that you're going with there.
Yeah.
Number one being a very obvious one. Both Diesel and Booker T were in that one time they came back.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Dust.
And then Diesel and Big Show had a stare down,
Which
which never went anywhere.
There wasn't many really exciting ones. I mean, even ones from like 2002 with like Mr. Perfect. They were announced in advance. So I don't think I think 2003 didn't have a single surprise entrance. So 2000 had Bob Backlund. That didn't
Did it?
exist. 1999. I don't think they really did many surprises back in 1998.
No.
Yeah. There you go. That was the YouTube roundup. I don't know where Barry's going. I hope he saved his audio. This is bad.
Are we done? Should we wrap up?
Let's see what he says. Okay, Barry, update from Barry. His laptop is done for. So he saved his audio. That's good. Sends to us so we can off his laptop again.
Okay.
That's fine. So it's Paul and Joe signing off. Another week.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Hopefully the audio sounds okay. We're trying yet another recording show. So it means more work for me, but if it sounds good, we'll keep doing it. If you want to send emails to ChairShotPodcast.com, keep an email tab, shoot us off an email, and we will read them, and it will be good. And James Howard, come on now, what do you sounds available? If you want to download the complete episode archive, episodes dated February 2010, almost 4 years ago, that is on ChairShotPodcast.com, complete episode archive. And if you want to follow our tweets at ChairShot Pod, on Facebook at ChairShot Podcast, and on YouTube now, ChairShot Podcast. Every episode is now being uploaded to YouTube with a lovely little artwork which I made. So subscribe, comment, like, share, write homophobic comments.
Do you believe in life after love?
That's all at youtube.com/ChairShot Podcast. And of course, links to all of the above at ChairShotPodcast.com. So that's it for this week. The first episode of 2014. Do you have any predictions for the year, Joe? What's going to happen this week?
WrestleMania will be a disappointment, and TNA will go out of business.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say that TNA will be a disappointment, and WrestleMania will go out of business.
Oh, will the original Odd Couple.
So when we get to 2015, we'll look back and see who was a prognosticator, who was a fool. And by the way, I was listening this week to the Figure 4 weekly prediction show.
Really?
Which is my favourite show of the year. Yeah, I love that show.
Okay, I might give that a go.
I always find it very interesting seeing how what people predicted last year and seeing if they were right or wrong.
Yeah.
And of course some wacky predictions for the coming year. I really like the show. So yeah, we'll leave it there. Thanks for listening, everybody. We will be back next week probably, unless one of us is in a horrific car accident and we're in hospital and life support, and Wade Barrett walks in and says, "Got some bad news." So it's goodbye from Paul Griffin and Joe Towner.
Goodbye.
And Barry Murphy. Oh, a rubber band in your mouth. See you next week.
by loudyspeak.com.